Today, I wanted to let you know some information about the Region 2000 Services Authority and some challenges that are coming to Campbell County, Virginia, because of the Region 2000 Services Authority. First off, members of the Services Authority, as you'll see here on their website, are the City of Lynchburg, Campbell County, Appomattox County, and Nelson County. And they have joined together, and all of the waste from these localities goes to two spots. There's a Concord Turnpike Convenience Center and then the Livestock Road Convenience Center. Most of it goes to the Livestock Road Convenience Center. The Concord Turnpike landfill has less than a year of life in it, and so the majority, the lion's share of waste goes to the Livestock Road Center. Recently, the Region 2000 Services Authority purchased the Bennett property adjacent to the landfill. It's 347 acres that is right next to the Livestock Road facility. And again, this is on their website, and at the bottom there are a couple documents that I will refer to. On this aerial photo, you'll see the Bennett property that I was referring to here is marked in the yellow dotted line with a border around it in this presentation to the Board of Supervisors about the property. They have made plans and are proposing to expand the landfill on this back area at the top of the screen where you see they've labeled it. And this poses many problems to Campbell County residents, I believe, that have serious repercussions over time, and that affects the quality of life of neighboring citizens and residents. There are negative economic impacts that will be felt because of this. I think it's a prime example also of big government, where our local government has given away power to another authority, and now the only power that can be exercised has to do with zoning, because they are no longer managing their own landfill. They've given that power to someone else. In this same document to Board of Supervisors is where I began to notice and take all of the size, scope, and invasiveness of this proposed landfill. So what you'll see here on this screen is a part of that presentation and the drawing of a section and overhead, if you will, of the proposed landfill site and what it would be like in the end. So you can see that the base of this landfill, it goes in that bordered area and encompasses the current landfill space over here. But you can see that the base of this thing starts at 900 feet above sea level, and the top of it is above 1,200 feet above sea level. So that's where I get the height of this landfill being 300 feet tall. So that's going to be 300 acres in girth and 300 feet tall. So let's talk about what we can relate to that's 300 feet. If you've been to Lynchburg and you have walked underneath of the Bank of the James building downtown, the Bank of the James building stands at 240 feet. This will be 60 feet taller than the Bank of the James building when it is complete. Again, just to reiterate what I told you as far as the height of this, it will become a mountain eventually over time. That course will start in about 2027 according to their numbers and last until about 2087. Here is where you can see, if this were Callahan Road that you were driving down, these would be the trees on Callahan Road, and this would be the mountain that will slowly rise, and that will be a mountain of refuse that slowly rises in the Campbell County community right off of the 29 corridor. And you can see that that goes from the 900 feet that I referred to above 1,200 feet, or approximately 1,200 feet. So let's talk about a little bit about the size of the landfill and what goes into it. This is a comparison chart of the tonnage that was received in 2013 by other localities in the area. You can see that the Region 2000 Services Authority is taking in huge amounts of waste. I will point out that approximately 185,000, I believe around 180,000 tons of that comes from the city of Lynchburg every year. Um, that is being done at a low cost to these localities, which may seem like a nice thing now. However, I believe that that comes at a very high price in the future to our residents and to the quality of life that we have to offer, especially if we continue at this pace. Part of what makes up that tonnage is sludge. So, what is sludge? Well, this is a picture of typically what most of us would think about with a landfill. Most of us have been in one and we see the top. But part of what is spread over top of the Campbell County landfill on a daily basis is 70 tons a day. 70 tons a day of human waste and refuse from the city of Lynchburg, sometimes referred to as biosolids or sludge, but you can imagine the smells when that comes, and it usually comes in 4 different deliveries throughout a typical day. For neighboring residents, and as trees begin to fall with some of the proposed areas, this poses a real problem, not only to adjoining property owners, but to the quality of life of people within several miles of this proposed 300-acre facility. Remember, the current size is less than 75 acres. So let's talk about what this is going to look like. Remember, the proposed area is here, and you can see how many trees will have to be destroyed, used up, and that will all be just cleared land as this begins. So none of that will look like it does today, and then over time, that mountain that I explained will go up. Now, this is a concern, again, on many levels. So if we look at who it affects, let's look at this area. Here's the proposed mountainous area, but you will see very readily that there are lots of divided up pieces of acreage and parcels of land nearby, where you can imagine that the smell of something like this, especially when those trees and the screening is gone and it is above the trees one day that do remain on neighboring residents' property, because remember, they're no longer here to help protect any of this. You can see how many people this is going to affect, and this doesn't even show the number of homes in a mobile home park that is over here. There's a number of people that will be affected here as well. So in my humble estimation, in a spot like this, which is the corner of Callahan Road, which will be greatly affected road for residents, and Route 24, which is in this direction, you will see in the distance Candler's Mountain. However, over time, this area will spread from approximately where you see the arrow here all the way to here, where above the trees, and you can see the green pine trees coming across that Bennett property. You can see that tree line. So you can imagine that 200 feet above that, you will never see that mountain again eventually one day, because there will be something in front of it from this corner. This is another view coming down 24 from Rustburg towards Callahan Road again on Route 24 from Rustburg, headed west. And as you can see now, the Bennett house and property is right over here. And you can see the pine trees in the distance, and if you look now, you see the landfill at the end, and you can kind of see a barren spot. But where the trees begin to dip beyond this area, and then they begin to rise again, when you start to see the rise as you go past the Bennett property and the pine trees rise up, they do that past the creek, and all those trees will be gone. All of these trees in the distance would be gone. And again, in its place would be a mountain of refuse, and it will not be a pretty green mountain. That will be only the potential after effects in 2087. It will not be what you see as it's going up. So again, more of what it's going to look like. You'll see a short video here. This is actually the top of the current Campbell County landfill and what's going on there. What it looks like. This doesn't always do justice to everything that you'll see, but you'll see numbers and flocks of birds. So to think that that's just going to be a lovely scenic view as you drive through the Rustburg area will not be the case. It will be a cleared area, and you'll always see the refuse on a daily basis on top and the birds swarming. So let's remember why this is a problem. This landfill in this spot is a problem because, number one, it's too close to people. And when it gets to the magnitude that it's planned to be, it will destroy the lives of those that live all around it and affect greatly those within a couple of miles. There are a lot of businesses, a lot of residences in this area. It's actually an area that's prime for economic growth because it's right off of the 29 corridor. Liberty University is growing, and we've seen businesses come down the corridor. This will stand and impede that progress and that economic growth, and that's where it's a problem for our entire county, not just the Rustburg area residents. So let's talk about what can be done. The only thing that can be done and controlled by Campbell County at this point has to do with the zoning. There's a lot of information coming up fast and furious, as this property was purchased on October the 27th, but there's a public hearing on December 1st in the Haber building with the Planning Commission on this particular subject. You can show that you're against it and sign up to speak and tell the Planning Commission that that is the case. Ultimately, it will come down to our supervisors. The Planning Commission will make a recommendation to them and how they vote, and that is very important. They cannot control what the landfill does. That is part of the problem of not managing your own anymore, even though it's in our locality. So the responsibility and burden falls on them to be able to dictate how the property is zoned. So if there's something that's going to be done, it has to keep from the industrial zoning from happening. That would not allow that property to be used for a landfill. Now, you can inform your neighbors, friends, and families of the facts. And look into more facts on the Region 2000 Services site and Campbell County site, and reach out to your supervisors, ask questions, and be informed. They all have a vote. This is not just a Rustburg issue. So they're all contributing. This is a Campbell County issue, and they can all do things to help support our locality and a positive growth in the future. These are the things that we should want
for our locality. You can attend upcoming meetings and speak at those supervisor meetings if you feel called, and there will be a decision that happens in February. Also, you'll see that here is some of their contact information for our Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission. I encourage you as residents to reach out, empower yourselves, and share your thoughts and express your concerns to these leaders in our community. We need them now more than ever because this will affect the next 100 years, the next century of our county. That's for our children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. Thank you.